Moving along, I watched briefly, it was a brief video, so I watched the whole video. It was on men's biggest insecurities. And it was one of those videos where they just get, people from the ages of 5 to 75 to just say a sentence about what their insecurity is. And there wasn't a ton of takeaways. The first one it was sweet. It was from like ages 5 to 10. They're just like, none. They don't have insecurities.
Really?
No.
That's cool.
What are your insecurities? I mean, think of it. They don't. And then it starts at adolescence that they start to get very into looks. And then I thought that there would be different things at different stages. This isn't a perfectly random sample, but I was surprised that you wouldn't have been able to predict the age of someone after the age of about 10 based on what they said.
Oh, can I try to play where you tell me like what the common insecurity is? Or
what was the most common one?
Small penis.
No, 0. I mean, first off, no one would admit that. No one would admit that.
Oh, got it. So they're a little bit biased by the fact that they're on camera.
100% biased by the fact that they're on camera.
Got it. So they're saying
most commonly admitted security.
Are they saying this is my insecurity, or are
my
they
insecurity?
Saying,
my insecurity.
I thought it was meant that each one was asked what is a man's insecurity.
No.
So that each human
that might be interesting. I bet you could get closer to people's personal insecurities by saying, "What do you think most men are insecure about?"
Yeah.
And you could probably find that individual's insecurity more effectively. But
I thought, okay, so got it. So you're saying they come on and they go,
what is your biggest insecurity? And the father's like, I don't have any.
Not making a lot of money or enough money.
Nope.
Really?
Height. Fucking nailed it.
Height.
Dude. Height.
Yeah. Wow, Justin coming in hot.
6'2" guy misses it. What do you know? Yes, height was at all ages.
I have a height privilege.
Minus like 70. When they get to 70, they just make it. But of course, that could be a random sampling. But it was height. It was height throughout. And I don't have any takeaway other than...
Interesting.
It's like, wow.
That's the most common
throughout. One. Yeah, man. 50s. Like, there's guys that are...
Not hair.
Hair was stated a handful of times.
Interesting.
Hair was stated a handful of times. Height was the most common.
I did have a 6'4" boss who was completely bald and he was incredibly handsome. So this lines up.
But yeah, I don't have a takeaway other than that I believe to be a massive insecurity for dudes.
Yeah.
And it kind of stinks because there's not, it's one of the hardest ones to change. Like some of them are like my acne or like my this or like I'm chubby. And it's like all of these is like.
Yeah, you go on Accutane, you start working out.
And
you go through an experimental procedure that shatters your shins and stretches you out over the course of very expensive, painful
like Gattaca. Year. Do you have any thoughts on that? It was just more of a premise than a philosophical idea.
Skin color? Did anyone say?
No one said that. But again, it's not a random sample. What do you think, Justin?
I feel like height is just a stand-in for dick size.
Okay.
I think they're very
interesting.
I've heard from women that they don't correlate.
I mean, not that they correlate, but that if they're not going to say penis size, then I feel like height is also likewise like a genetically assigned thing that
not being big enough to like impress.
You know what's funny though? Height I can imagine affecting you once a day. You know, you meet someone new, you think penis size is so rarely going to actually affect you. It's such a funny one that I think society has like grasped onto.
Well, I don't know is it better or worse to have an insecurity that everyone sees or that is your secret? That only the person that you really want to like you sees, you know, like I don't know the answer to that question.
Or would you rather be tall with a small penis or with a big penis?
Well, I mean, hopefully, would I rather? I'm not even going to answer this question. We're not playing this. But yeah, I don't really have much of a takeaway. And I'm sure there's people out there going, oh, it doesn't matter. But it does. And I recognize this. And that's not to say that I think it's important that you're tall. It's to say that if you take the bell curve of people, there's a large section of them, especially when you're like comes to dating, that care, and it excludes you from that section. Now,
well, this is why I talk about this when we do Charisma on Command. It's not that height doesn't matter or wealth or anything else. It's that you can overcome this stuff if you focus on other things. You know what I mean? So we knew a guy who was I think like a 5'5" Asian, but dressed incredibly well, great tattoos. And I thought he was like not going to hurt himself in the attractive department to most women because he was just crushing it on every other thing. Did his height hurt him? Probably. But like he had overcome it with other stuff. You know what I mean? And so charisma to me is that other stuff. It's like no matter what genetic hand you got, if you just smash this, you're going to be okay.
Well, the only thing I would amend is no matter what. I do think that there's the tail end of the bell curve. So I'm not necessarily like, and by the way, like we've spoken about Peter Dinklage, who has like a very attractive wife, and
he's very financially successful.
He's very financially successful, but like I don't want to exclude the possibility that there are hands that one can be dealt that are near insurmountable.
That's fair.
But at the same time, there's people like Sean Stevenson. I mean, look up Sean Stevenson if you're not familiar with him. He is about 2 feet tall. I actually think he may have died. He passed away, but had a very attractive wife, was a motivational speaker. Like, I guess what I'm saying is I recognize that there are people out there that you need to just go, you know what? I'm not going to just puff you up. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy. I'm not going to tell you you're going to overcome this. At the same time, for anyone, it is possible. Like if you, like for you, the individual, like strides can be made. Your life can be changed. Like very positive.
You can get a bad hand.
Yes.
And you can make your hand better.
Yes.
And I also think
you might as well try.
You're not going to catch up to, I'm not going to catch up to Chris Hemsworth. You know what I mean? Like some people just are going to have a lead on you, but I've improved my life through focusing on health and charisma and all that stuff to the point where I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing. You don't need to be.
So I think it's often called like a black pill, which is the black pill is that there's these unchanging things about yourself. And I think where I land is that it is foolish to discount the importance of those unchanging things, but it's also foolish to despair and do nothing about the things you can change.
No, we had the guy that started Endless Options and Jump Cut and Simple Pickup. He's a 5'7" balding Indian guy, and he would say all of this is bad. You know, the fact that I'm 5'7" and balding and Indian, these all hurt me. And he's, by the way, he's not a worst case scenario. He's not.
It's just what he said.
Disfigured person, but he.
And by the way, it's not worst case scenario if you're a disfigured person. This is difficult topics to discuss.
I'm just saying he says that he has surpassed regular handsome dudes because he's focused on wealth creation, fame, moving geographies. You know what I mean? He's gone all in.
And we're speaking, if it's not obvious, specifically about dating. Because I actually think, well, I don't know. I'd be curious what you guys all think. I think that women are the most discerning and discriminatory. I don't mean that negatively, but like they'll say no.
One of my best friends for my whole life is 5'7". I don't care.
Well, 5'7" isn't even that short, but I would be friends with him if he were 5 feet tall. I don't care at all. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter. I wouldn't care if he were a little person. I wouldn't care. Like he's got the same interests and we do the same things, and I do not need that aspect of him. So I think does that track with your experience at all, Justin, in terms of people you know?
Wait, sorry. What are you saying? You're saying that women
are women? No. Are women? No, sorry, dating. Sorry, I mean dating. I'm not saying. Height
affects you less in terms of making friends than it does in terms of dating. And I think in the middle might be work promotions, which I've heard sometimes people just respect you more if you're tall, and so they defer to you. So it's easier to establish yourself as a leader. Yeah. But on the thing that's going to impact you the least, I think, would be making friends. I think if you're just funny and fun and positive, I don't know anybody who like super cares how tall their friends are. And then the middle, I think, is it a disadvantage in work? I'm going to go with the data and say yes, probably there's just a natural respect bonus you get, but you can pass it by being talented and all that stuff. And I think the hardest thing is dating, and you can still crush dating, but that's probably where the biggest ding occurs based on height.
So I haven't watched it. I'm sure they have one, not statistically significant, but a fun little game. I'll check for the one on women. What do you think women's biggest insecurity will be?
Weight.
I don't know. I'd have to think really hard.
I'll say aging and age-related things, including wrinkles. So I'm capturing that.
Well, then I'll take body. So if they say small boobs, or if they say they're chubby, I get body.
I'll give you.
You get age.
You get whole body?
Oh, yeah, you got age.
I feel like you'll win with whole body.
So do I. That's why I picked it.
But that's not fair. These are not similarly sized things. I can't even win for the 5, 10, 50, like, you know what I mean? I can't up until I don't know what age. I'm not going to get any of it.
Up until,
I discount this.
Okay, fine. I'll just go with
weight. Okay.
But if someone thinks they're too skinny, that counts.
Justin, anything?
All right, then I'll go with boob size.
Okay. All right. Very specific.
We got breast size, we got weight, we got age. Let us know next week.
All right. I'll check it out. Do you have anything else?